Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Under-19s football show, filmed live here from Eric Bell Reserve. I'm joined by my mentor and good mate of mine who called the 19s this morning, Dan Lonigan. Thanks for joining us again, mate.
Pleasure, Matt. Great to be here. Looking forward to, again, having a look at the Under-19s. It's been an interesting start to the season. We're getting a bit of an idea that some teams will dominate, but most teams at least trying to field a team. We'd love it to be a bit better than that, but at least they're making an effort.
We probably had our best game of football we've called so far this year, Dan, in the 19s this morning. MPNFL, Aspendale and Pines, a seesawing contest which had Pines behind for most of the game, but they kicked away in the last quarter through Taggart and had a good win to finish off their day.
Well, I thought their defence held EDS up nicely early. This is Pines' defence, if you know what I mean. And EDS were dominating and probably should have been 3, 4, maybe 5 goals in front, Matt. But in the end, I think that the enthusiasm, I think that the structure, the belief, and I mean, Steve Jackson's an excellent man to have as the man to try and rebuild the under-19s. He's done a wonderful job. He ensured that the players had that, you're right, that self-belief. Matty Mayne was very strong up forward. Tom Taggart finished it off. That goal right on three-quarter time to cut the margin to just a goal for EDS meant that Pines were right back in the game and they just ran away with it in the last quarter. So that's a really good win for them. And EDS were young. They've said they're young. They'll say that it's going to take a few weeks, but they were third in the under-19 competition last year and they're now number 2, so they've got some work to do.
So they have had a lot of top-age players go up to the reserves, but for the bottom ages and the players that left in that side from last year, I thought the better players were the Stingrays representative, Reece Orchard was really good. I thought their backman, Matt Maloney, was very good. He's had a few years in the under-19s. He actually played as a youngster with myself when I was playing half the season out at EFL Aspendale. Any other players that come to mind that you thought were good today from EFL?
Well, I thought that the big ruckman until he got injured, Jack O'Neill, was good, and he went forward.
He ended up going down with a calf.
He did a calf. I thought it looked a lot worse than that. I thought he did a really good job. But other than that, I think there were too many players that were a bit individualistic. They didn't have enough players jump on board. And as Steve Jackson said, we'll hear from him shortly, you can't have one player win a game of footy because what was happening was Orchard was getting the ball behind the centre, which I dare say that Pines were very happy about because he uses the ball so well. But you've got to have other players. No, he wasn't getting enough support. I mean, in the end, Pines had 5 or 6 players that were absolutely outstanding.
Well, as the quarter time goes here at the reserves between EFL and Aspendale half-time, we're going to go to an interview post-game with Dan Lonigan and the coach of Pines, Stephen Jackson. We'll be back after this.
Steve Jackson is a legend of the Pines Football Club. He's a legend today because he got his team over the line in the under-19s. It wasn't looking good early. What changed for you?
I think just ball use generally. We fumbled a lot. Probably didn't back ourselves. We had opportunities to take the ball and go with it, but we're second guessing ourselves. And just said to the guys, you got to believe you've done all the training. It'll happen. Just believe in yourself and do it. I think they just worked better as a team. They got better as a team.
I thought your defence was great early because there was a lot of pressure, wasn't it? And I thought the other thing you did really well was, and was that something you did deliberately or did it just work out that way? That Reece Orchard got a lot of footy for EDS. We got a lot of footy behind the centre square in the defensive area, which meant he couldn't really hurt you, could he?
No, well, I suppose their forward line had to use the delivery they got a bit more. They could have really hurt us, but no, that wasn't a plan at all. We actually had 3 guys try to run with him, and they couldn't stay with him. But at the end of the day, one person's not going to win a game of footy. No. So we thought we had 22 contributors, and that made the difference in the end.
Matty Mayne. Very handy up in the forward line, and
look, he's done a lot of hard
Taggart,
work.
the goal team.
Little Tommy Taggart. Yeah. He's the best ground ball exponent in the competition, apparently. That's what the senior coach has told him.
Is that right?
But, yeah, Tommy's sort of say he stayed out on the permit because of his size, and it's just good for him, to get a touch of the ball. But he mainly got it because he did a stack of running and just found himself in the right place at the right time.
So it's good to have a win. Last week was a tough game against Mount Eliza.
Yeah.
Are you still, though, Steve, a bit concerned about that the competition might be slightly one-sided with Mount Eliza having so many players that won't be able to play under-19 footy?
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But they're going to dominate, but it's probably, you know, we can't think about that too much. Every other team's got to go, well, imagine if we can knock them off. Just give it the best shot. No one's got nothing to lose when you play Mount Lies for the rest of the year. So you just go out and have a crack. And, you know, it's unfortunate that they've got so many players that maybe miss out and rotate people around maybe. We'll just see how we go next time we play them, I reckon.
Well, you've made a magnificent job of turning this team around over the last year or so. Well done today. Good luck for the rest of the year.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Good on you, boys.
Thanks, mate.
Welcome back to the Under-19s football show here at Eric Vale Reserve. Dan, Steve was pretty happy with the boys, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. Look, I love the way he spoke to them at the end of the game, and he said, if you get an opportunity, stay and watch the seniors and watch a player, watch a Paul Scanlon, watch a Russell Gabriel in the ruck today. Watch
Just one person all day.
Just watch them all day if you get an opportunity. If you can't get to training both days, and you might be working on a Tuesday or a Thursday, try and come in on a Monday and try and do the extra work. And he said, what do you think was an area, because he had a feedback form for them, that you thought let the team down? Do you think the talking was good enough? He said, what do you think that was? Best, 3 out of 10. He said, there were players taking defensive marks to save the game in the end. I'm not sure, there was a lot of talking going on down there. So a lot of areas to work on, but that was a really promising performance today by Finest.
One of the better players for the day, Matty Main, kicked a few goals. He just tended to be in the right spot at the right time when he was kicking these goals as well, and Dan caught up with him earlier this morning.
Probably GameFace's #1 fan who changes his hairstyle every single day, and he's gone for the crew cut a bit like me, but mine is through necessity because you can't grow grass on a busy street. I am bald. I don't think Matty Main is bald, but tell me, Matty, why do you change your hairstyle every single day? I saw you the other day and you had, I think, peroxide.
Yeah.
One day, I think last year's grand final day, you were...
Red and green.
Red and green.
Yeah.
You had the mohawk.
Yeah.
Every single day where you wake up and say, I'm just going to do this today.
Yeah, just something different. Why be a sheep and follow everyone else? Be yourself, be unique, which that's myself, I guess.
You were unique out in the footy field today. Good performance by the boys.
Yeah, bloody good effort. EDS, really quality side. They played really well all day, but I just knew that our boys weren't going to give up at all. We just kept coming. EDS, they kicked away at one stage, but just the attitude amongst our boys was just sensational. Everyone was just always positive. We were up and about, and I knew we just had the fight in it to come back.
Even when you were behind, I mean, I've spoken about the defence, how good the defence was today. Seems to be a lot of self-belief. Do you think that resonates with the fact that the seniors won that unlikely premiership with that brilliant second half of the season last year, and it's gone down to the rest of the club?
Oh, most definitely. That's just the attitude and the culture that Paddy has within the club. All three sides, it's just the same. Just the culture is so good here. The self-belief is just monstrous.
And are you claiming the 2 goal assists for Tommy?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations. Great win today.
Thanks,
and
pal.
good luck for the rest of the year. It was
Awesome.
a good fight back from last week. Well done, mate.
So Matty's a great character, Dan. He changes his hair all the time, as you guys spoke about in the interview, but he's a good character for the club, and he's a leader of the under-19s as well, isn't he?
Well, he kicked a couple, he rucked well, he set 2 goals up for Tom Taggart, including the one on 3/4 time, which I think gave them the self-belief that was spoken about. And with his experience, he certainly helped them, and he's leading from the front. And I mean, the key for them now this year, after being more than competitive last year, is to try and make the finals this year. And if they can play like that and have someone like him leading from the front, that'll help their cause.
It's great to see them bounce back after a hefty loss by Manaliser, to Manaliser last week, who are a pretty strong side in this league. But I want to cut to an interview you had with Tom Taggart, because you've got a bit of history with his dad, and let's have a look and see what you guys had a chat about.
Now, I know this young fellow's father very well. Actually shared a house with him a little while in Hamilton a long time ago.
Yes,
Tommy
that's right.
Taggart, congratulations. 3 goals today. Must have been wrapped with the way you played.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird feeling, kicking 3. Never kicked 3 before. Yeah, it was good. Good team effort.
What was your job? Just to be at the feet of the tall forwards?
Be at the feet of Matty Main, crumb out the back, do whatever I can.
When you kicked the first one, did you feel not only yourself but the team had the self-belief they needed to go to the next level in the last quarter?
I think I kicked it 20 seconds to go in the third.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, that definitely gave us the confidence to push through in the fourth and get the job done, yeah.
Last week was a tough one. Where did you improve from last week as a team, do you think?
Oh, everywhere. Communication, locating, two-way running across the grounds. Yeah. a lot.
And the defence early held up nicely, didn't it? When it looked like EDS had your measure, but you found a way to close them down sufficiently to stay in the game, didn't you?
That just goes back to the communication. Communication in the back line was awesome.
Tell us about Steve Jackson as a coach. I mean, he's a legend around this football club. The whole family's a legendary name at the Pines Football Club. What does he bring to the table, and what does he bring to you as a player?
He's pretty inspirational, old Stella, legend around the club, as he said. And I think it's just the way he goes about things, about the team. He gets us all involved in training and everything. It's good.
Now, you were at Mount Eliza. You live in Mount Eliza. Your brother played footy there, and according to your dad, played with Zach Jones now at the Swans.
Jonesy,
What do you like about this football club that's different to Mount Eliza, Tom?
It's so inclusive. Like at trainings with the ones and the twos, everyone's included. It's awesome. Everyone gets around everyone. It's awesome.
It helps when you win a premiership in the seniors, doesn't it?
100%. Yeah, it's good.
Well, congratulations. Great job today.
Thank you.
And good luck for the rest of the year.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Thanks, mate.
Moving on from the game we've covered today, we want to go into the Division 1 scores for the under-19s thanks to the GameFace record app. And look, we want to be pretty strict on which scores we're reading out for these teams because we want to make sure the clubs are updating their app and the club officials that GameFace does liaise with during the week is doing their job to make sure live scores are updated in our app. It's not a hard process, and we understand that there's a lot of things that clubs need to do, but we ask them for just one more little extra, obviously, piece of help for GameFace. And looking into the app now, we've had a first win for Frankston YCW in the under-19s against Mornington. 13-20, 98 to 28-20. So Frankston YCW had a bye last week to Sorrento that don't have a team in the under-19s, which we have covered in the previous shows. Frankston Bombers got a good win against Dramana, 10-16, 76 to 3-4-22. Obviously, we covered the Pines EDS game today. Pines 8-7, 55 to EDS 6-9, 45. And Bomb Beach, 15-11, 101 to Rosebud 4-2, 26. So Bomb Beach looking to be a stronger team in the under-19s competition this year, Dan.
Well, there seems to be the haves and have-nots, as we've spoken about. There'll be, I think, a real divide. 5 or 6 good teams. I hope there's a battle for the top 5 and 3 or 4 that'll really struggle, or 3 that'll really struggle with Sorrento obviously not having a team, but let's not talk about the wall. We talk about it every week. But obviously YCW will be good. We think that Mount Eliza will be good. Not so sure about EDS this year, very young. I think that the Pines are good enough to push for the top 5, and Bond Beach have made a promising start, and the Bombers as well.
Well, let's have a look at the ladder for Div 1 and we'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us in the episode 2 of the Under-19s Football Show. I am Plugger Bodie and I'm joined by Dan Lonergan, who is just about to take us through the Division 2 winners for today.
And as you said earlier, Plugger, there's no Red Hill result because they didn't ring us in time.
They didn't.
So
I do believe
better than that Red Hill.
I do believe that they may have received a wrong link from GameFace. That may have been our issue. But Harry Burt, thanks anyway, mate. But we get those scores later on in the week.
Somerville 116 beat Tyab 10. Big win by Somerville. We know Tyab have been struggling to field the team. Langwarren destroyed Seaford by 127 points, which is away for Seaford being a Division 1 team last year. Crude point against Devon Meadows. At least Devon kicked a goal. At least they're trying to field a team, so we do applaud them. The 28-23, 191 to 117. So in 3 weeks, Devon Meadows has scored a total of 128 and conceded big scores. Crude point are going to be pretty hard to beat in the under-19s. Rye 18-14, 122 over Hastings, another team that will struggle this year to field the team regularly under Pat Foy, the former Sydney Swan, 2-2-14, and we don't have a result in the Red Hill match. And going to air, obviously, in talking about the under-19s, there's a match later on, which will be played as a night match in the seniors between Chelsea and Coringal, and so that under-19 match will be played a little bit later at the time of having your under-19 show, Chelsea playing Coringal.
Yeah, so a 2 p.m. start for the Chelsea and Coringal game, and it's going to be a twilight game in the seniors, as you've just touched on, for the outside the locker room cup or round, I believe it is. But we're going to go to a short ad, and after the break we're going to be back with an interview with Stephen Milne, with myself and Stephen Milne when he caught up with us during the week as he joins the GameFace team for 2019.
Forward in the Goddard direction, Milne. Well, that was clever. Goal of the century.
G'day guys, Plugger from GameFace here, and it's with great excitement to introduce an absolute legend, Stephen Milne, who's joining our team this year. Milne, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Plugger. Yeah, I can't wait to work with the GameFace group and yourself, mate. I'm really excited. Every Thursday night, I'm going to be going to a local footy club, interviewing a couple of the guns, or not guns, but doesn't matter. And I'm going to be running a sharpshooter competition at each club. So it's going to be a bit of fun to get to the local clubs and give something back and have a bit of fun with each club. So really looking forward to that.
What do you know about GameFace before joining us, mate?
Not much until the mighty Glenn Carter gave me a call. And just obviously local footy. I've played 5 years of local footy now, a couple of years at Strathfield Say, and 3 years at Morris. And just your local footy, to go to a game of footy and to have every game or a lot of games streamed live, to go home and watch it. It's something that I could look back on and not do, but to have a look at it now and, to get all the commentary on a local games, and I've had a look at the vision, and the vision is great quality, so it's exciting for the players in local leagues to watch that.
So it was really great to catch up with Stephen Milne, someone you would have had a little bit to do with when you were at the ABC. Dan, what was he like when he was a player, when you used to go in and have a chat with him?
Look, he was terrific, Stephen Milne. He has been a magnificent servant for the St Kilda Football Club. Yet another example of a rookie-listed player. I was talking to my son about it last night, about all these very good rookie-listed players that have come through the system and gone on to be stars. Dean Cox would be the best, but Stephen Milne, I think, would be in the best 22 rookie-listed players. He was a wonderful player for the Saints. A player that you love to hate. Certainly the opposition supporters love to hate, players love to hate, and a couple of coaches, including Mick Malthouse, Plugger, as we know, love to hate. But lovely guy. Steve met him a few weeks ago, and good to have him involved with GameFace.
We're really excited to have him on board. But Dan, let's jump into the tips for next week. We'll start with Division 1. Who have you got for Division 1 next week, mate?
We've got Mount Eliza and Mornington. You'd think Mount Eliza would win and win quite comfortably. They've got all these players. Many of them can't get a game. Come on, Mount Eliza. Let them go and play elsewhere if they want to play elsewhere.
I'd have to agree. Mornington have had some improvements in the under-19s. Couldn't quite get their second win for the year against Frankston ICW, but I think Mount Eliza would have to win that one.
Going to be a work in progress. I know Peter O'Connor said today he thinks or hopes that EDS will make the finals. They were leading for a lot of the day against Pines, but were run over. Didn't have enough contributors. They need to have more contributors. I think Long Beach will be the EDS, but EDS next week.
Frankston ICW, Dramana. Actually, yes, you're right. Going back to EFL, Aspendale, Long Beach. Look, we got a good look at EFL Aspendale today. Probably doesn't look like they're going to have access to Reese Orchards next week. He'll probably go back and play Stingrays. So I think that's a big out for the EFL Aspendale under-19s.
And Zach O'Neill's hurt himself.
Zach O'Neill's hurt himself as well, a good point there. But I think Bomb Beach have really taken some big steps this year. And I think Bomb Beach will get over the line against EDS next week based on the first two rounds of what we've seen this year. Dan, Frankston ICW and Dramana, what do you think?
Frankston ICW will win easily, and I'm going to put my head on the chopping block, as I often do, Matt, with a big statement. I've learnt from the coach. I lived with him for a few months. We came up with big words like profligate, etc. I think that Frankston YCW will play Mount Eliza in the grand final, and it'll be far too good for Dramana.
Big tip, Dan.
It's early days. I think they're clearly the best two sides, with Eddie Asp, as we've mentioned, going back into the pack a little bit this year, losing a lot of their senior players from the under-19s.
For next week's tip, I have to agree with you, mate. I think Frankston YCW will be too strong for Dramana. Pines versus Mornington. We got a good look at Pines today. They showed some heart. I believe Pines will get over the line next week against Mornington, even though Mornington have showed some improvement earlier this year.
1-1, lost 1 so far, the Bulldogs, but I think the Pines also 1-1 and lost 1. Close game next week, the closest game of the round, they'll win that one.
And Rosebud have a bye. They wouldn't be playing Sorrento, but Sorrento, as we have documented, don't have an under-19s team this year. So Rosebud gets a free win there.
They do, which they need, I think.
Over to Division 2 for next week, Crib Point versus Red Hill. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Red Hill played in the grand final last year, were overrun by Crindle, as everybody would already know. But Crib Point have had 2 strong games to start the year.
Well, they've got a really strong under-19 team. They'll be right up there. They'll be in contention. Not sure they'll be in the grand final. They'll certainly be in the finals. This will be probably the match of the round next week. Crib Point at home, but I still think maybe Red Hill slightly. But it should be a great match.
Rye versus Tyab. Rye played finals last year and went pretty deep. We got a good look at Tyab last week when we called the under-19s out at Hastings, and I think Rye will be too good for Tyab.
Yeah, Tyab, good to see them trying to get numbers, but they are weakened considerably, not having the numbers or the quality, and Rye does, so Rye easily.
Kringle and Seaford, I think Kringle will be too strong for Seaford based on what we've seen on the scorelines early on.
Far too strong.
Langwarren and Somerville, I think that'll be a good game. Somerville have had some big wins to start the year, but I don't think Langwarren are that bad either.
No, they've improved, haven't they? And Somerville made the finals last year, got to the first semi, beat Crib Point in the elimination. This is another close game like Crib Point and Red Hill. could go either way. Maybe Langy at home, but very, very tight match.
I'm going to go against you there, Dan. I think Somerville have been really strong in the first 2 rounds, and I think they've had 2 big wins, and I think they're going to upset, or maybe not even an upset, but get over the line at Lane Warren there. Hastings, Devon Meadows.
Hastings will beat Devon Meadows, but I think Devon Meadows will be more competitive. We just want to see them kick a few more goals because Hastings are another team that are battling to get numbers every week as well. They're having to play top age players, get permits for them, play under 16s. I've had a couple of under 16s last week. Nick Hill did well against Tyabb, kicking a couple of goals, a few under 17s as well, just to fill the numbers. So they're weak and too, a bit like Tyabb and certainly like Devon, but I still think they've got enough talent to beat Devon.
Yeah, we love to pump the Devon Meadows guys up because look, they've got a team on the park, and I don't think they will be strong enough to beat Hastings. But I hope they get a competitive contest out there with some more numbers on the field. So I think Hastings gets the chocolates there. Pearcedale, Chelsea. Pearcedale have shown some big improvements this year, and I think we'll be able to get a measuring stick on where Chelsea's at after they play Coringal later this afternoon. But I think Pearcedale will win that one too.
Yeah, I think Pearcedale at home. I think when the games are tight, you probably do go for the home team. But yeah, some good matches in Division 2, despite the fact there will also be some one-sided ones as well.
So Dan, we touched on Devon Meadows a lot, and we actually had the coach go down to the under-19s earlier this morning. Let's see what he had to gather out there at Devon Meadows.
My name's Paul Sinclair, and I'm the coach of the under-19s for the Devon Meadows Football Netball Club. The scoreboard in our situation is basically irrelevant. Ours is about 2 weeks ago we had 4 players. Today we ran out with 22 and we had a person that couldn't take the field because we would have had 23. That to us is that's where we're headed as a club. We want a group of people that have an opportunity to play football on a Saturday at Devon Meadows.
So I know it's $1 million question, but how do you get them here?
Yeah, so look, we have a lot of support from the committee down, and we keep providing an environment that enables young people to be the best they can be, not just on the footy field, but outside of the footy field as well. There's a lot of programs in place, men's health, support networks, job opportunities. So we're providing that, and hopefully that's the carrot that brings young people down to a club that's extremely supportive of younger people.
With me I've got Eric Zurich, who's the captain of the under-19s here at the Devon Meadows Football Club. Eric, results haven't gone your way, but just you must be happy that you actually are now getting a full team to pick from, and one over almost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we had 5 on the bench today, which was a good turnout, and it's like Paul said, we're improving each week, and it's great. So by the end of the season, we should be very competitive, and yeah. If there's any under-19s or 17s or up, you want to come down to Devon Meadows, it doesn't matter if you're a superstar or not, you can come down. We're all close here, very welcoming, comforting football club.
Perfect to have the coach down at Devon Meadows, trying to pump them up. He's been wonderful for us here at GameFace, and certainly trying to give them some confidence, and good to get an insight into a team that are making an effort to field an under-19 team every week. And I know they're getting beaten comfortably, and I know it's tough for the players, but as long as they're enjoying themselves to the best of their ability, and at least having a game of football, that's what we want.
That's exactly right. To almost finish this show down, I've gone over to the Pines Canteen, and I've seen one of GameFace's hospitality sponsors, Ambience Catering, that runs the canteen here at Pines. And Gay Lane has provided us with a half schnitzel roll here, Dan, and we can have a bite into it and see how the canteen goes.
I like it. Gay Lane does a wonderful job at Ambience. Let's have a look at it. I am the messiest eater in the world. Oh. Mother's milk, Matthew. Mother's milk. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Gay Lane.
I was always told not to chew with my, not to talk with my mouth full, so I had to get that one down quickly, but it's actually not a surprise. I've had Ambience Catering's food before. Harry Lane is a good mate of mine, son of Gay Lane, and look, the chicken schnitzel roll's great here at Pines. $7, so good value, and if you are here at Pines, then grab one of those chicken schnitzel rolls. And you enjoyed yours, Dan?
I did, Matt. Thanks very much for that, and thanks for having us again, and let's enjoy the footy, and we look forward to another magnificent round of under-19 footy next week on the MPNFL.
Thank you for joining the Under-19s MPNFL Football Show. My name's Plugger Bodie, and this is Dan Lonigan. Moving forward, if you guys have got any questions, any topics, or anything you want us to speak about, please inbox the GameFace page, and we'll cover it all here on the Under-19s Footy Show. Get your GameFace on.